Before we get started, this video is sponsored by FaB Foundry, one of the first Flesh and Blood specialized game stores in the world, a pillar of the local FaB community in Portland, Oregon, a world tour organizer, and my personal favorite LGS. FaB Foundry is your one-stop shop for all things FaB related, whether that's singles, sealed product, playmats, sleeves, dice and tokens, especially featuring products from Metal FaB and Thai cards. FaB Foundry also offers a rewards program which you can use to get store credit back on all your purchases. So please go check out FaB Foundries, support our local community in Portland, and use our promo code FleshandBad for a discount on your next singles order. Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're going to be playing some more MARLYNN. So if you look in the maybe board, unfortunately, I think the big game trophy shots have finally left my deck list. This is probably like one of my favorite MARLYNN cards, just very, very solid and very cool, like value proposition, I think. But I think the meta is just like kind of gotten to the point where like this is so clunky that I don't know if you can like afford to play this, especially at like a 3-up. So for now, I'm actually moving these to the board, and I think I've finally actually been converted to Team Loan Shark here. So we're gonna be trying something a lot more similar to kind of like Jacob Kissel list that I think we played on stream. But I think that like this shell is very, very solid. I have a couple little like minor things that I'm diverting from, but we'll kind of get into that in a little bit. But I think that for the most part, like this core game plan is I think the best you can do with MARLYNN. Like still not great, but like I think that the loan sharks do give you a lot of flexibility in case you like lose cards in hands to like Slippy, or if you need like more flexibility in a gravy and stuff like that. So I think for the most part, I think this is going to be how the list remains. Now, I think the couple main differences between my list and theirs is I'm running a couple more 1-for-3s just because I think that they're a little bit more consistent at clearing allies. Now, obviously, there's like an additional cost to that, but for gravy, I think that just having a consistent number of 1-for-3s with a decent like on hit is pretty good. And I've also switched back to the Bolton shots. I think like Bolton shot, like the on hit is okay. It's just more so. It's more so like the on hit is very threatening, right? Like from your opponent's perspective, like the on hit either is very, very good or like could like let you do basically more things on like a big 3-oak turn or something like that. But from like the MARLYNN side, like I don't think this on hit is like actually as good, but like it's probably just like better than Searing Shot, or at least it's a little bit more threatening than Searing Shot. So I think we're gonna try the Bolton Shot in the blue slot here. But we're on 31 blues, which I think is about as low as I want to go. Like, I think if you get any lower, you kind of run the risk of just like drawing a bunch of brick hands. Like, I think 30 is probably the absolute minimum, and I've tried playing with 30, and it's felt like pretty bad. So we're doing 31. I think 32 is also probably about where I want to be, but just finding the room is a little bit difficult. All right, so going into, I guess, the cyber cards. So I've actually switched back to the Bar Barrage. I kind of want to try this card more. I feel like I initially kind of dismissed this as a little bit clunky, which it is, but like most MARLYNN cards are kind of clunky. But I think this does have some like niche use cases, so I want to keep trying this card. I think as a 2-of, it's probably fine, just for the gravy matchup. And the one spicy card I want to try today is Swift Shot. So yeah, so Swift Shot is pretty interesting. So into gravy specifically, what it lets you do is like you can do like a 0-for-4 and then play out like more stuff from Arsenal, like by cracking gold or something. It's pretty good off of like 3-oak in general, so I kind of want to try that today. It's kind of a little bit clunky to set up, but having like a 0-for-4 arrow is also quite nice, just if you need to like get it off Codex and you only have like 4 resources in hand. So I kind of want to just try out Swift Shot today. Maybe we'll bring it in a couple of games. I think it's mostly for gravy, at least that's kind of like, I'm either running Swift Shot or I'm running maybe some kind of like 1-for-3. Like I was also kind of considering like 2 Salt Aerosols in this slot, but I think the Swift Shot makes maybe a little bit more sense for this kind of shell. I think Swell is a lot better if you're running like kind of like the more Bodied strat where you're running a lot more blues, and then this has like a higher chance of like high rolling. But for now, we're going to try out these Swift Shots over the Swells just because like the red count's a little bit worse. So I think that's going to be the deck. I'm still liking the 3 Tarpet Trap. I know some people are dropping down to like 2 Tarpet Trap, but I think into Slippy, like having 3 brings up like the consistency a bit and makes it a little bit more reliable. So I think we're going to still keep this at 3 for now. Battering Bolt is, I think, another card that I like normally would take the space of Swift Shot. I'm just like super still kind of like down on that card. I don't know. It's like a weird goat effect, like where you're like forcing your opponent to block, but I think your opponent a lot of the times is like happy blocking. So like I don't know if that card's like actually all that good. Anyways, this is gonna be the deck for today, so let's go ahead and get some games. All right, so we got a Victor. So they're going to choose to go first, which means I probably want to lean into Dominion. And then bring in our King Sharks. I think King Kraken is like surprisingly okay. But Tipple, I think obviously is quite good. These are quite good. We could also overboard a little bit and like also bring in like Drop the Anchor just as an extra buff. I don't think that's completely unreasonable. just because there are some more like fatigue-oriented Victorlists running around. Let's try like this, see how it goes. All right, love to see quick dodge from them. This starting hand's pretty good. If we can maybe block with like, I don't know what we block with, probably just like port side, maybe like port side plus drop, and then just try to draw towards another blue. But overall, I'd say it's not bad. We get to potentially send a King Kraken at them, and then I feel like there's a couple options with this hand. All right, seems like they're not factoring very much, so maybe just running a lean 60 into us, which I think makes sense. All right, turn one visit, obviously quite good. This card is like insane, by the way, just with like how much gold generation and like other cards they printed for Victor lately. I feel like Visit is just a very, very powerful card. All right, coming in with Titan's Fist. I feel like we're maybe just blocking with the drop plus port side or something like this and just keeping these two. I could see the argument of just like over blocking a little bit, maybe we're also blocking with like the King Kraken. I think there is an argument to that, but I think I just want to start sending harpoons for 10 just to throw them off their game, even if it's not a good effect. Let's try like this. I think there is maybe merit to like instead of blocking at the port side, maybe we're supposed to block with the King Kraken instead. I can see that being correct. But then there's like not a guarantee that we're getting an arsenal. We could also just filter the King Kraken if we wanted to get like full hand filtering here, but then there's like a risk that we hit an arrow that we don't want that's flip face up, so we can't get rid of it. So I'd say like maybe we're just fine not filtering here. All right, seafloor salvage could be good. We don't have any yellows in pitch, so I guess it's not good right this second. That's fine though. Let's start, I guess, by cracking gold so that we can load King Kraken and just send it in. There's like a semi-real chance that it actually like ends up hitting. I think we're gonna arsenal the drill shot just so we can start shooting through a bit of their armor. And I think we're not gonna give the gold bait hook on this. It's too likely that they're able to just give all their armor here, especially to get gold bait hook out of the way early. It does feel a little bit bad to go to 0 gold. I think this is fine. I wish there was like a I think what the MARLYNN deck is really missing right now is that there's not like a harpoon that targets like non-action cards. I feel like that's really kind of what this hero needs. Seems like they are going to give quite a bit of armor here, which I think I'm happy about. So we had a tipple and a headbutt up top. That's fine. All in all, not the worst case scenario, although the chokeslam block does kind of concern me a bit. All right, looks like they're just going to refresh the seismic here. Just send it with the big spinal. Seems pretty good. So I feel like our play here, they don't have pummels, or they're not representing it. I think we're just going to take a blockout turn and then just maybe send drill shot arsenal to codex for next turn. Because spinal also works on actions, right? It's not just attacks. It's basically everything. So I think we're just going to eat this and then send drill shot arsenal codex. Not the end of the world here, but definitely a pretty good start from them. Is there any world where we like codex anything? I don't think so, right? So we'll just send in the drill shot. Could have also, I guess, sea lace there, but the go again is irrelevant. Like we can't even like threaten that we have codex afterwards. So I think this is fine. This could be a pretty good hand if we end up keeping it. Like if their hand's a little bit weaker, which maybe the blue blocks kind of represent. All right, just coming in with the disable. I think this might be okay. This might be our kind of like opportunity to try to get ahead this game. So I'm kind of looking at maybe just blocking 4 on this so that we can go like lace 3 oak codex. I feel like that might be the best line. Alternatively, we can lace 3 oak, then codex, and block with these 2 and not give up armor. Maybe that's better, especially since we have tunic counter coming up. Maybe we don't need this extra blue. So I think we're going to take a little bit of a risky line and just go for this. There is a chance that this backfires, but like if it does backfire, worst case scenario, we're just like not activating Hammerhead, which is not the end of the world. Unfortunately, the Codex might actually be good for them because it means they can get back like a Chokeslam or something, but should still be fine for us. So let's go ahead and start with the Lace, and then Tunic, and then 3 Oak. All right, so we draw kind of a mid hand, but not the end of the world because we can just pitch it away, or like we're going to ponder it away anyways. So we overpitch to the Hammerhead like this so that we can reload, get our King Kraken. And I guess the question is like, are we going to put the gold baited hook on it? So they need to, okay, so assuming that they want to send a choke slam at us, which is like the most likely play, they get a choke slam back. They use the seismic surge here, or they're getting a spinal. Interesting, discarding a rouse. So what does spinal tell us? Spinal tells us that they have 2 cards that they want to pitch to the spinal, in which case they want to keep these 2 cards. They have a 3rd card maybe that they want to just block with, in which case we're probably safe to actually gold baited hook, right? Because if they decide they want to block out, like let's say this card's a block card, this card's a 3 block. This is coming in for 13. They have technically enough armor to do that, but they'd be going off tempo. So maybe it's actually correct to use the gold baited hook here. I think it's a little bit risky. It gets punished specifically by a 4 block. And they'd also have to have additional stuff. Like they'd have to like give us armor on top of it. So we are getting punished here, it looks like. Like maybe that was a little bit risky. But I think putting them on not having a block card after they just used one is a semi-real assumption. And this means they also can't send a spinal this turn. To me, this is fine. I still think this attack is correct, but obviously we're getting punished for it. It's definitely greedy, but like I think you need to get a little bit greedy in this matchup. So I'm assuming we're losing our hook here, almost assuredly. Oh, we're not losing hook. Unless they have like a... This is an interesting block, so I'm curious why not give armor? Huh, this is weird to me. Take aim, chokeslam, sure. Okay, this is a weird play to me. I feel like the correct play was to at least give some amount of armor, right? Because now we just get a ton of value. Like they would have had the opportunity to blow up the gold baited hook and do that. So I guess we're getting rewarded even though we should be getting punished. I guess they still get to send the spinal at us because they made a vigor, fortunately for them. It's not even the end of the world. Yeah, I don't know if their play made a lot of sense, at least from my perspective. Oh, this is also coming for 8, so we actually have a really nice block on this. We can just get rid of the loan shark and then block 6 with equipment. Yeah, their play was weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm like not seeing what they're going for, or maybe they did something awkward. Let's go ahead and give up the gold baited and the sea lace, and then I think we're just going to try to send a bluefin at them next turn, which means we have to get rid of the loan shark. I think all in all, this is fine. So we're still taking a bit of damage here, but they've had a pretty good set of draws. Draw 3 block cards plus visit in the top like what 10 cards or something like that. So overall pretty good for them. Let's go ahead and start with the take game for the bluefin. I think we're just going to keep trying to cash in on our gold baited hook value. We saw 2 extra block cards, so it's unlikely that they have a 4th block card here, which means that this is more likely to hit. We are going off an arsenal, which is a bit painful, but I'm assuming that we're going to get at least some amount of gold here. All right, there's the 4th block card. I think we're kind of getting hard rolled here, not going to lie. But, like, we're still kind of doing fine because they're not breaking the hook, which is weird. I don't know. This has been like a strange set of plays from our opponent here, I think. All right, we see 2 block cards on top, so they could reroll. All right, reroll into a Golden Sun. That's pretty good. But I guess they still whiff on the trounce, so they're just making 1 gold, and then they draw the Golden Sun. So that's pretty good. But maybe we get to take a blue out of their hand, so maybe this is actually fine for us. So we steal a gold, bluefin. All right, reveal 2 yellows and a choke slam. Unfortunate, but not the end of the world. This hand, oh, it's almost good. I guess it is good. We can, no, is this good? I don't know. Choke slam coming in for 5. I guess we can, what's the play here? We can, I guess it has to involve Brioke somehow, right? So we can't afford to let this choke slam hit. Which means we have to block with like the 3 block, and since our hand is all 2 blocks, that means we have to like do this. And then we just YOLO this, and then Codex has to get pitched for second cycle. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world here. I think we just need to get a little bit lucky off the 3-oak here. They're only sitting on 2 gold, so maybe like we're not actually in that bad of shape, but it feels pretty bad, at least from our side. So let's get our bluefin. This is a nice set of draws, at least. So I can pump Lupin and send it in. I don't think there's any way we can really keep an arsenal here, but we still are sitting on some gold, so maybe that's fine. Question is, are we going to go for a gold baited hook here? I think it's pretty risky too still. They have the quick dodge flexors. They might just say, like, we're going to take a turn to break it. So I think we're just supposed to send this in. Seems pretty likely that they want to block this anyways. So I think giving up the gold baited hook for marginal value is probably bad. We don't have to worry about choke slams anymore, which is at least pretty nice. I feel like aside from that, their draw has just been very good, which I think is like part of the reason why I think I don't like Victor, or like I don't like playing Victor, is just like a lot of the clash high roll feels bad to me. I don't know. Like it's either you draw these in like your first couple hands and then you're like feeling pretty good, or you're like these are in like second cycle and you never see a clash card and you just like lose. At least from like a gameplay perspective, that's why maybe I don't really like Victor, or like playing as Victor all that much. So this is why I imagine that they were going to do anyways, just like cover this with like quick dodge, which I think is very good for us if they're using quick dodge, and like they're basically discarding a card from hand anyways. So I say we're in a pretty good spot. We got Tunic Counter going up next turn. The Codex, like the power card draws have been a little bit awkward, but this hand's good if we manage to catch them on a turn where they're not able to do a ton. And we did also manage to steal 2 gold from them, which is pretty good. All right, so there's the 3rd gold main estate. So they drew, so out of the, oh, this person's also running a Test of Iron Grip with the Test of Strengths and Trounces. So it's interesting. Normally I think that the Test of Iron Grip takes the place of the Trounces, but maybe they found like a better ratio or something. So we've seen 6 gold generation cards in the top like 1/3 of the deck, maybe top, maybe it's a little bit more than a third, maybe top some percentage of the deck. It's definitely top half at least. Six gold generation, assuming that they're running like 9 in total. It's like a pretty good set of draws. We have Tipple this turn. Maybe they're not sending anything this turn also, so it could be in pretty okay shape. The Might tokens are concerning, but hopefully our Tipple draw maybe helps us out here. All right, they're cracking some gold, which is nice. That means we don't have to worry as much about a future visit. And if they're just sending Hammer here, I think we're in pretty good shape. So I think we're just going to say no blocks to this and take our bit of damage. It looks like we're not doing super well in terms of like life total and just like board state, but we did chew through a bit of armor. So like maybe we're not actually in that bad shape. All right, so start by Marlynning, and then we're going to start by Tipple. Which do they care about more? Probably Sleep Dart, right? So get rid of the Ham Shot, discard the Goldfin, do this. I guess we should also like pre-med first, I guess. Because maybe the Ponder hit off of this makes a decent bit of sense. We could also actually force the block on the Tipple. Maybe that's better for us because we might not actually get the overpower this turn. So let's go ahead and put this on the Tipple first, because we might not end up getting a better chance to use Gold Bait Hook here. All right, draw Seafloor. So we can actually just send Sleep Guard here, and that's fine. All right, test is painful. Yep, painful. So they hit a King Shark. Oh, we're so close to actually winning that too. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but I guess not the end of the world. We still get to send in Sleep Dart for 6, and then maybe we're threatening another Ponder as well. I'm trying to think if sacking gold does anything. We can actually get a King Shark in Arsenal, and then we can pull Tunic to just send it. But maybe we're getting a King Shark in Arsenal anyways off the Sleep Dart. So I'd say maybe we're not supposed to crack a gold here, because like we're very likely to just get a Ponder token here anyways. I'd say that was a pretty good test there, though. All right, so we have one more visit to worry about, and then one test, one trounce, and then a couple test of Iron Grips. All right, so there's the. All right, Victor opponent I think has drawn like every block card in the top half of their deck, which is kind of nuts. Yeah, this is like an insane set of draws. Also, like the triple chokeslam as well. I guess I think they only played like one of these, right? They played like blocked 2 of them, I think. So they're gonna win this test of strength 2, which means they get a gold, and they also get to draw a card. So yeah, that's pretty good. We are going off an arsenal at least, so maybe this is not the end of the world here. Like maybe we can just load this King Shark and send it in. But yeah, this is why I like kind of just don't necessarily like Victor as hero. All right, so there's the Golden Sun I think we probably knew about already, but it seems like they're just going to go and fire it in. Makes sense to me. So I think, so question here is whether or not we want to block with the Sunken Treasure or not, or if we want to just cycle it and maybe end up arsenaling a Redfin Harpoon. I think we're supposed to take 14 here, which feels pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know if this game was like necessarily winnable, but we're gonna try. I think we shouldn't block here. I feel like we need to make it to second cycle and start seeing our codexes in 3 Oaks again. I think we still have one codex that's like live in the deck. But all in all, I'd say we're in pretty bad shape now. All right, so let's start by sacking the gold, draw a card. Drop the Anchor is actually not the worst thing in the world, because now we just have an extra pump. I think we might pull Tunic and just draw another card here, because we're pretty likely to hit off of the King Shark anyways. All right, Gold Tip is also a decent draw. So I think we're gonna go all in. Are we going all in? Could also hold back and then maybe arsenal one of these buffs, but I feel like that might not be worth it. I feel like we just need to make sure this King Shark like absolutely hits. Because I think if this hits, we're in really like actually maybe have a chance this game. Like we can take a really good card out of their hand, and maybe they like just have like a Titan Cistern or something mid. But yeah, I think we gotta try to do something here. All right, we hit, which is fantastic. All right, so we have a CNC, a Macho, an E-Strike, and a Spinal. I feel like the correct choice is just the Macho here, so they can't pay for anything, right? Like, if we take that, then what is their turn? Unless they have another E-Strike in Arsenal, then they can do like E-Strike, E-Strike. But I think the correct choice is actually take the blue. Alternatively, we can take the CNC, but then there's like a world where they like E-Strike Hammer. So I think it's just got to be the blue there. All right, we refresh our gold, which is also nice. This is not necessarily the Codex of Frailty hand I would have asked for. We also don't really have any 0 cost or anything to get back. Yeah, I think we maybe are just dead here. Hard to say. Maybe we're supposed to just like cycle this Codex for a better draw. All right, just going for buff power. So we can drop to 2 here. Alternatively, we can block 7 Arsenal the Codex, and then maybe we can use that as a potential path to victory. Honestly, maybe block 7 is just better, right? Like we can send 12, but that doesn't do anything, especially if they like with the King Shark. So I think our best course of action here is to just like take a turn off, Arsenal the Codex, block 6 next turn. I think is maybe the idea. Yeah, I think it's correct. Yeah, unfortunately, like with the amount of blues in this deck, you sometimes run into hands like this where you just like cannot play Codex. I guess we almost could get like the Codex off the gold here. Maybe we block 6 here. Maybe we can sack 2 golds. Does that even do anything? Alright, pitching an E-Strike and a CNC, which is nice. So that means their other card in hand is a red, probably the Spinal we saw earlier. So I think we block this, and then I don't think they have or they don't have Pummel in their deck, right? I don't think you could afford to run Pummel with that many block cards. So I think it's good. And then I think we have to start YOLOing off golds. Let's draw Yellowfin, so that's good. So we need one more resource, and then we can send in Codex. So we pitch the red here? I think, right? Pitch the red. Try to draw towards the blue. We draw towards the blue. I think that was our pitch deck, by the way. So we eye, and we try to set up a good arsenal. So I think we're just bottoming, just so we try to find something a little bit better. Then we Codex, grab King Shark, and I think we just need to start using our gold baited hook here. They block it, they block it. I think we're at the point in the game where we just need to start pushing every bit of value we can get. Alright, the last 2 block cards. Yeah, I don't think we're winning this, unfortunately. I think the block cards are maybe just like too strong in this matchup. So I overpower. Like I guess like overpower if it was just block cards wouldn't be as bad, but like overpower is just so bad. It's basically like blank text against a lot of heroes. It'd be nice if like we had a Harpoon that cared about non-block cards or like cards that weren't actions. That would be a little bit nicer. But yeah, as it is here, we're just, I think, losing off the back of the block cards, I think. Do at least get a Ponder token, which is a Sleep Dart. Not very exciting. Actually, surprisingly not bad with this hand. Alright, so we're getting disabled, which means we have to block at least 4 of this. Give up Tunic, but then Tunic is not up for next turn. So I think maybe the play is to just like use Tunic to double send here, but I feel like that's still probably a losing proposition. Oh wait, they did have Pummel in their deck. Alright, this is like the greediest Victor deck I think I've ever seen. It's just like all the block cards plus Pummel. I feel like a lot of Victors have chosen to go away from block cards and like or chosen to go away from Pummel just so you can run more block cards. Like I feel like either normally the test replaces the trounce or like the tests are like sideboard for certain matchups. Pretty good in this matchup though. So do we want to keep the take game, I guess is the question. How many codexes do we have left? We have 1 codex left still in the deck, which I think is coming up soon, right? Which means the take game, I don't know if it matters playing these 2 or like if we want to keep an arsenal here. I guess we can gold the tip, send Sleep Dart. I guess I was just debating whether or not we want to send the take game, and I think the answer is I don't think it matters. Like maybe the take game is better on the Codex turn, so we should try to save it. They've only seen 1 CNC. I think they pitched a CNC though. So maybe they have a 3rd CNC hanging around somewhere. Be a bit concerning. Yeah, I feel like this matchup, if this is like the configuration that Victor's run, is pretty bad from our perspective. It seems like they're just going to take it, keep their full hand. So I imagine they probably have like a Pummel or something. Almost guaranteed. Arouse, I guess, also makes sense. So you have a Thunderquake, I assume that they maybe want to send after this. So I don't think there's much choice here. We just like need to block out this turn. They pummel us. They pummel us. Not the end of the world. Like we will die, but like I don't think we can beat a pummel necessarily anyways. Alright, just come in for 8. So we block out this turn, we're taking 2. So if their next turn is like super mid, then I think we maybe have a shot here. Really need to find that last codex, and I think we have also 1 3 oak left. So I think there's a chance this game. So there's Macho, which means we die. Unfortunate. But that's okay. I think they had a very good set of draws. I don't know if there's any necessarily beating that set of draws from Victor. Let's take a look at their deck. So do they have like one more pummel? I guess they do have one more pummel. I think for the most part this tracks. I think that most Victors are probably not on 9 blocks. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like maybe this is the new Victor meta. They did draw like most of their blocks in the early game. Oh, thank you. All right, but yeah, thank you, Gongle, for the game there. I think that's a really good Victor deck. Yeah, I feel like this is probably like a rougher matchup for MARLYNN. Like I don't know if like the 9 block is pretty bad, but yeah, I feel like MARLYNN. Like what matchups does MARLYNN have that are good? I guess is the better question. Yep, but that seemed like a pretty rough matchup, especially with that kind of version of Victor. Let's see if we can get another one though. All right, playing against a Fang. This is definitely one of the rougher matchups. We'll give him a good luck, have fun though. So I think in this matchup, we just want to go full pump is kind of the idea. I think there are some number of... So I feel like there's a choice here between which harpoon we want to run, whether it's the King Kraken and we're trying to target non-attacks or the King Shark. I feel like more Fangs are running attack actions, so I'm going to lean towards the King Shark, and I think we're supposed to go full tipple plus drop the anchor. I think this is the rough plan. And I think Equipment Suite looks good. Let's give it a try. This matchup is like horrifically bad, but sometimes you can eke out a win if you draw very well. All right, so I think we'll just go ahead and give either give the King Shark here, or we can give like the Yellowfin. I feel like let's go ahead and just give the King Shark. Getting in the yard is pretty good for codex purposes, and we do want to try to deny them any mark value if they have any. All right, seems like they have a little bit of mark value, but it's not the end of the world. So we're taking one, getting marked. Our opponent is off to a good start though with PLT generation. So I think we should probably be a bit concerned about that. I think we will try to go for a quiver here. I think getting rid of the drill shot probably makes the most amount of sense. Oh, King Shark in Arsenal is like actually pretty good. We draw blue, then we get to fire that next turn. So all in all, I'd say this is fine. If they want to attack again with the Obsidian Fire Vein, we just block a little bit more. Oh, this hand's fantastic. So we get to Lone Shark, and we get to use our gold-baited hook basically with impunity here. It's about as good of a start as you can ask for. Obviously, King Shark, not amazing into Fang, but they do sometimes run like Oath of Loyalties and like random attacks. And you can sometimes catch them with this, although not super often, I'd say. All right, so let's go ahead and fire it. The chances of this hitting are basically none, basically 0, but if we can force cards out of hand and keep them off their engine, I think that's also worth it. So we'll start with the gold-baited hook. And just send in here, I think. I think going off an Arsenal here is like also fine. Again, this all assuredly not hitting. But if it does hit, we do get a gold, which is at least nice. And the Blood Rod is something as well. I feel like what Ranger needs is like some way to just like get around block cards and like other stuff that overpower. Like it's kind of weird to me that there's not like a harpoon that deals with like attack reactions or like not non-action cards basically. Like Battering Bolt, I think is just like, I don't know, feels like it's not good enough a lot of the time. But maybe you still just like need Battering Bolt. I don't know. Still just like very opposed to. I'm very anti Battering Bolt for some reason. All right, so we do at least get to hit with this, which is nice. So it seems like they maybe don't want to cash in the armor here. So you have Blade Flurry, Relentless Pursuit. So this is like the choice between like the actions and the not like the attack actions. Like I feel like you could go for the actions and maybe that you're more likely to hit like cards like Relentless Pursuit or whatever. But like even then they could have just like blocked with it. So I don't know if that's actually all that helpful. It's another pretty alright hand here. Probably just gonna end up pitching the Loan Shark. So they're almost assuredly hitting here as well, which is fine. They're basically going to get online pretty early. I don't know if there's much we could have done about that. They at least don't get to go online this turn. Like, I think they still have to pay at least some amount for this other Fire Vein if they want to swing it. But yeah, this matchup's just pretty rough in general, I think. So yeah, the Blade Flare is good. So they still have to pay one here, which is maybe what's going to save us a little bit here at least. So pitch the Relentless, reapply the mark. Seems pretty good. So there's Blaze Headlong. So that's a card that I think some versions. That's why I kind of lean towards the King Shark. I don't think you want both King Kraken and King Shark, but I feel like a lot of lists, Fang lists, at least I've seen lately, have been running more attack actions. So that's why I lean towards that. But I'd say this is fine. We're probably just going to try to draw towards the blue and send another King Shark at them. So we'll take this and then their dagger gets discounted, but I think that's fine. So yeah, they do technically get to go online now because of the Blaze Headlong. So now they don't have to pay here. But they're not really, they already kind of paid for it, right, by making it bigger. So maybe it's not the end of the world here. So swinging for 3, that's fine. And then we'll just try to send this King Shark for some value this turn, I think. Oh, they are going to go for a pay. They're going to pitch the Scar Tissue there. That's kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and start, I guess, by pitching the Loan Shark. Hope to draw blue here. Blue is fantastic. Load in the King Shark. Play the Lace with Blood Rot. Could make a Goldfin here on the assumption that we're not going to hit. Because we didn't make a gold this turn, so we shouldn't gold baited hook. So I guess the question is getting rid of a gold worth 2 damage? Probably. So here we are, just going to make it. I think you maybe have to treat this card as just like 1 gold some of the time, and I guess you get to threaten an additional gold. I'd say overall, not a terrible position we're in. We need to draw towards some of our power cards like 3 Oak, Codex, etc. But the first couple opening hands have actually not been that bad for us. If we can get one of these King Sharks to hit, I think we're maybe even ahead this game, depending on what they have. All right, so we hit with another Lace, which is also nice. And I'm assuming that we're not going to hit anything here, so they have Blade Flurry, Blistering Blade, and Hunt's End, all of which are live. That's fine. So, doesn't matter. Maybe we're supposed to be getting a little bit more aggro with our gold baited hook, but I feel like there's some likelihood that they just want to block there anyways. So they have like 3 reacts in hand that are all red. I guess the question is like, is this hand worth anything? I feel like the answer is no. Like maybe we're supposed to just try to block out with this hand and try to save a bit of value. So I assume they're going to try to go for a big attack on Chainlink 2. So they're definitely going to like Blade Flurry here. I guess the question is like, what else are they going to do this turn? Or maybe they're even going to opt for the Huntsman as well. All right, so maybe this gets a little bit more awkward, but still fine, probably. I kind of expected to use the Hunt's End on this second chain link, but I guess it makes sense to use there. I think we just need to take an off turn here and just try to draw towards our better cards. Like we still have 3 Oaks in the deck, 2 Codexes. We draw all our King Sharks, which is kind of hilarious. And they have a Blistering Blade in hand, so I mean, we're not doing anything with these cards anyway, so we might as well block with them. They're gonna get to Arsenal, but that's fine. Like, our hand's so bad that I think it's not worth trying to send anything there. Right. I guess that hand might not have been that bad. Like, if we hit him with the Sleep Dart, then I guess their daggers cost more to activate. Maybe that was a better play. I feel like sending an all-blue hand is, like, pretty bad. I think we're just gonna Arsenal drop here and hope to draw, like, 3 buff plus 3 oak plus something. This hand also is probably not good enough, but I think we probably just have to keep it here. Ugh, it's so bad. I think we're probably still blocking here. Ugh, this hand is, like, pretty bad. I feel like maybe we just have to try to strain them with some number of, like, reacts or attack, defense reacts in hand. To me, that's our path to victory. But even that's not, like, a surefire thing, right? So they definitely have that blistering blade that we knew about. I feel like this is another just block out situation and try to find something better. Like, we could send the bluefin, but even that doesn't do anything. So I think maybe we're supposed to just, like, block 5 here, hold this back in case they send something else at us, and then we can also just, like, C4 salvage on our turn for a little bit of value. But I think what we're going to try to do here is just not play out mid hands. I'm fine with getting tip off. So basically, like, no value, kind of. Or they get 2 fealties, but, like, once Fang has passed 3 fealties, there's kind of diminishing returns, it feels like. So sure. I think we're just blocking out this turn. Conserving a little bit of life while also drawing towards our power turn, I think, is reasonable. I feel like that's, like, one of the ways you kind of can lose this matchup is if you try to, like, commit to bad hands. I think this hand we have to probably commit to. We have functionally three buffs plus Sleep Dart. There's some good draws we can have too, so I think we're gonna take some damage here. Opponent still has full suite of armor though. Yeah, this matchup is just, like, bad. Like, I didn't even think, like, running battering bolts necessarily helps with this matchup. I feel like the way you win this matchup is typically just, like, you draw a bunch of red buffs and then you kind of high roll them that way. Yeah, but this is fine. They're making a bunch of fealties, but, like, it's actually kind of a below rate turn. They get +2 here, +2 here, +2 here. So they sent how much in total this turn? They sent, what was the other card they played? They played 2 Searing Gazes and then 2 Affirms. So yeah, it's, like, kind of a bad Fang turn, honestly. All things considered. Not super optimal, I guess. Alright, no 3 Oaks, no Codexes, so I think this is just maybe a bad draw. I think sometimes, like, especially in this game, like, in TCGs in general, you sometimes have to, like, acknowledge when your draw is bad or when you, like, misplayed. I think, I don't know, like, I feel like especially with that Victor game we played earlier, um, I don't know. Sometimes you just draw bad, and then that's kind of, like, all it is. So I think we're gonna try to draw towards our outs though. So I think what are our outs here? Our outs are 3 Oak and Codex. So we have 5 looks out of a couple cards. I'm not gonna put the gold bait hook on the tipple here because I think we need to get lucky here. Like, if we put, I guess maybe it's still fine to put it on the tipple. I don't know. I think Yellowfin is not good enough, so we're going to try to go deeper. Yeah, I don't think we can win off a blue harpoon. I think we just need to get luckier than that. We still also have, like, gold to look at, so I don't think it's super imperative that we use it here. So we're gonna go in close chain and start cracking some gold because I think we just need a good card to kind of play to our outs. So even here, like, we can still send the Yellowfin Harpoon, and it will come in for 14, which is theoretically lethal. They are running some number of yellows. I feel like a lot of their yellows they can just block with anyways. Like if they're running more scar tissues or like that all you got, which one of which we turned over. So again, I think we just like cannot load this because we need to draw something better. We need a codex. We need a 3-oak. Need something like I think we have one more draw, and then we could have sent this, but like still not good. All right, so last draw. I think we just need. I think at this point it's 3-oak that we need. All right, so we didn't draw 3-oak. I guess it's still salvage. I guess it still works, right? We can now pump an extra 3 on the elephant, but it still doesn't win the game, I think. So yeah, I think if anything, this game is maybe a lesson in drawing towards your outs. And I think that unfortunately this game, we drew all our king sharks, which is at least nice. But it seems like our power cards are kind of in the bottom half of our deck. I think actually no codex, no 3-oak in the top 30 is a bit rough. But we'll try to make the best of it. Maybe we high roll, hit a yellow here that they can't block with or something. Who knows? Might as well go for the gold baited hook because it's like we're basically dead next turn. And 17 is not bad, but still, it's just kind of whatever. Like we can block this pretty easily. We lose our gold baited hook, and then from there, I don't even know what we do. So yeah, I'd say like a little bit of below our average RNG, but like sometimes that just happens in TCGs and you gotta kind of play around it. So I figured they were sitting on some kind of react, at least based on their last couple turns, because they didn't play out the card from Arsenal. Might be hitting here though, so maybe not the end of the world. We will at least get to see how we die. So they have Fire and Brimstone, Saber Bloodshed, and Dear Devotion. They don't have a way to mark though. So maybe this is this good for us? Probably not still, right? Because they have the Fire and Brimstone. They can also pay for the Dear Devotion, so I think we're thoroughly cooked here. Yeah, I don't think we can beat this, but I guess we'll try. Oh, wow. Still no Codex 3. Okay. We weren't winning this game anyway, so that's fine. I think we came pretty close. Like, we did actually, I think, a pretty good job considering the draw. So I don't know. What are we even doing here? I guess we just, like, block 6 here or something. They Fire and Brimstone. I guess I get to draw a card, so maybe we should have blocked more. I don't know. I don't think it matters very much here. I think we're, like, blocking out and still dead, right? I guess we could have denied the Saber Bloodshed applies the next time you. So, like, they're going to hit us this turn pretty much regardless, I feel like. Maybe we should have only get 3 there because we knew a Pledge Fealty was there. I don't know. Go ahead and give, I guess, a bit of armor. Oh, Hudson's a pretty good draw. Is that the second Hudson? Yeah, I guess second one. All right, they didn't draw all 3 Hudsons, which is at least comforting. Block a Tunic. Go to 1. So this card is a card. Oh, that's the Endear Devotion that they drew. Okay, that makes sense. So, yep, I think we're just passing. Let's see if we draw 3 Ochre Codex. No. Wow. That's actually kind of incredible. So yeah, I guess this just goes to illustrate that, like, MARLYNN low rolls are pretty bad. So I'm kind of curious if we can try to track where our stack was. Block 3 here. I imagine they have some pump. Oh, they don't have pump. Interesting. Huh. Well, I guess we're still alive, but I feel like we shouldn't be. I mean, we're not really alive. Hey, we drew 3 Oaken Codex. I guess we. Sure. So I'm basically assuming we're dead at this point. So I'm kind of curious. Oh, well, I had 3 Oak wasn't even good. Okay. Yeah, bad beats. That's fine. I guess we'll still whatever. So we drew Codex last turn. I'm just gonna no blocks this so we can take a look at our stack. So we drew 3-0 last turn. We'll give him a good game. All right, so let's take a look at our stack. So did we pitch a Codex early on? We didn't shuffle at any point, right? So maybe we did pitch a Codex early on. When did we pitch a Codex? Oh, maybe I didn't keep track of that. Hold on. I might need to go like watch the tapes and see if we actually pitched this, because maybe that was our like key to victory or something. I don't know. Why don't I remember this? Oh, we bought. Oh no, sorry. Okay, no, I know what happened now. So we bottomed the Codex to the Eye of Ophidia, so that's where we saw this Codex. So I think our stack was somewhere around this Redfin Harpoon. So what that means is we draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We drew 4 cards this turn. So I think our Codex, all of our Codexes and 3 Oaks were in the bottom like 30, 35 card, or bottom 30 or 25 cards of our deck. So I think that's a pretty low roll. Like, let's actually maybe do the math there and see like what the actual odds of that are. All right, so I think this was like the actual like below average Marlin game. So I think like, well, let's say that we have a 30 card sample size here of drawing 6 cards from our deck, and we have a 60 card deck, and we had, I think, I'm being generous here and saying that in the top 30 there's no 3-Oak Codex, which I think is correct. I think this is actually like maybe closer to 35, but we'll do that math anyways after. So I think the chances of us drawing, or the chance to not draw 0 was basically a 1%er, right? That's kind of wild. That's actually a little bit. Let's I guess someone in chat can do the math, or someone in the YouTube comments or whatever. But if we do 35, we have a less than 1% chance. So someone in the YouTube comments will have to tell me how many cards do we like, when did we actually see our 3-Oak or Codex? Like what card did we see this in? Because I guess like this sample size actually determines like how bad of a draw that was. I mean, not to say like 3-Oak or Codex maybe wins us the game, but like seeing at least like one of them probably does help to some extent. But yeah, someone in the YouTube comments tell me like what exact, like how many cards did we draw? Like what is our sample size? I guess the question. Do we draw 30 cards, or do we draw close to like 35? I'll have to like watch back the tapes and see. But anyways, I think that's gonna be the deck for today. So I was actually okay. So I don't actually like this deck. Don't play it. I think the switch outs are just bad. I've kept trying this card and it's kept like not impressing me. I think what I want to try next time is maybe doing like the saltwater swell stuff, or maybe just bring back the Conquerors. I feel like having the swells for gravy is probably pretty okay. Like we can maybe try that out. I've seen a couple lists that are running swell, that are more like pirate card oriented, or whatever they're calling it, and maybe that's like maybe the secret. Maybe we're supposed to be running swells on the board to like help with that matchup. Yeah, but I'd say overall there's some problems with this list, although I think the shell is still like pretty strong. Like this 51 cards is pretty strong. It's just maybe the sideboard I'm still trying to figure out. But anyways, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. So let me know how bad I did in those games. I think those are both like pretty bad low roll games if I had to guess. Like the Victor game, we just like they saw the top half of their clash cards, and then in the other game, the Fang game, I guess we like just didn't see any of our power cards. But anyways, that's bad beats. Sometimes in TCGs you draw bad, and that's all it is. So hope you all enjoyed, and thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. And a special thank you to all the folks who decided it would be a good idea to give us $2 on Patreon. We really appreciate the support, but it's obviously never required.